We are joined by Deborah Nyasha Kabongo. She is a dancer. Like I was just going through her profile, quite fascinating, versatile, an artist, a woman of many hats. Good morning, and thank you for making time for us on Morning Rush.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, well, I can see the hair is very arty. I like the
really.
I like the
Thank
hair
you,
as well.
jumbo locks.
So you are a dancer by profession, but
Yes.
you also do modeling, TV, and you've done a lot of different things in art. Like how did we end up there? Like because a lot of people, dancing is not really, it's something that we do maybe in our living room or when we're out. Out and about, maybe having a good time, like a Friday, there's so many different things happening. I'm going to try and cut a rug here and there, but like, how did you find yourself in the world of professional dancing?
Well, I've been dancing most of my life since I was young. I would say I started dancing at church, you go, during praise and worship, they have a little dance segment. But I discovered dance could be a profession maybe when I was about 12, 13. I got my first professional gig. I met the legendary Matthews Julius, one of the greatest dancers to ever been in Zim. And after that, I started working around the arts sector. I passed through Africa Arts Trust, and then I moved on. Found myself in China. I got a contract to be in China working at a performing arts company. And fast forward, it's been working.
Let's talk about that experience in China. I understand
Yes.
you were doing performing arts there, I think, for about 3 years.
Yes.
In terms of maybe your growth and development as an artist and a dancer, having had such a rich history growing up in the Zimbabwean scene, what are some of the takeaways or some of the experiences that you had in China that you probably want to bring back and infuse into industry here?
Well, first of all, I would say dance is definitely a career path. Yes, like you said, here in Zimbabwe, it's a hobby or it's a side piece that people do. But out there, they take it as from when you're very young, it's part of the curriculum. When you go to school, they teach dance from a very young age, so it grows in your system as you evolve, and children can actually just choose to follow that from when they're very young, as well as the bit of a stigmatization around female dancers. Here in Zim, there's something I discovered when I was there, and so when I did come back, I found my own niche market, which was focusing on ladies, dance choreography, like heels choreography, and empowering women to make themselves, feel sexier and not have the weight that comes with why are you choosing to be a dancer, as it is also an art form, just like singing or choosing to be an actress and stuff like that.
Let's unpack that stigmatization. Why do you think that exists, and what are some of the things that maybe not just you guys as dancers can do, but the wider community or even us guys as media practitioners can do to destigmatize the art form?
Well, I would say it's a two-way street, right? First of all, when I had the opportunity of studying dance, right? So we have moved away from our own roots and our own culture. Dance is part of our culture in terms of, if you look at Dine, Mbakumba, Chinyambera, all these Zimbabwean dances are telling a story, whether it's a rain dance, it's a mating dance. So it's been part of our culture. But at some point, we kind of lost the plot, maybe we've been too westernized. So when you tell your parents, I want to be a dancer, back then it was part of the culture. So it was, yes, Mwanarutamba, it has to, it was respected. As we've evolved, people have kind of moved away from it. Oh, if you're going to be a woman, the norm, get a job, be a doctor, be a lawyer.
Yep.
But I would say the community can help with, me being here is helping. I
Having
believe,
this conversation.
yeah, we are unpacking what dance is and how important it is as an art form and a career path. It's been working for me, so I believe it can work for other people as well.
So I know there could be a young boy or a girl watching who probably likes to mimic the dances they see in music videos.
True.
Or, they naturally find that themselves dancing whenever music comes on. In terms of maybe then working towards that the professional side of it, like what advice would you give them in terms of the pathways that are available for them?
Yes. So we're hoping in the future, I am working towards having, I studied I did an honors in sports science and management, but I was able to study dance as a sport when I was doing sports science. And unfortunately, we're still working towards that. We don't have a degree in dance yet, or dance science in Zimbabwe. So I had to take the sports science route, and then I was able to study dance as a sport. But there is a dance school in Zimbabwe. I passed through the Africa Arts Trust, and that's a place to start. You have to educate yourself before you get into the money-making scheme of everything. So yeah, that would be it.
I love how you just casually drop that you've got a degree in sports management and sports science. As if it's not a big deal, and focusing on sport as a dance, because in my day-to-day, I deal a lot with different sporting activities, but I'll be candid with you and say, like, I've never really thought, wow, dance, sport. But clearly it isn't. I guess maybe that's part of the education that we need to see out there. But I know there was a bit of biomechanics of dancing in there. Maybe just unpack that for us, because I'm fascinated.
It was new, actually. When I did start my sports science degree in 2020 at the school, my head of department was like, you know, you're already a dancer, so why don't you attack that? Because no one else has ever done that, to actually study dance as a sport. So I did study other sports codes, which is, you know, the rugby, the tennis, cricket, but they were like, you're already a dancer. And out there in other countries, people do study dance as a sport. They have the Olympics. If you go to the WCOPA, World Championships of Performing Arts, they have dance as a sport as well. So it was pretty exciting for me. I get to take sports science, which is the sports medicine, sports psychology, and apply that to dance. But I focused on dance biomechanics when I was studying it.
No, I know you've worked with quite a few music. It's not just about the practical side of it, of being a sport. I know, you know, Omalay, you've worked with them. I think Jao Praiser and a couple of other local artists. What has that been like for you, obviously, just straddling that, you know, from a professional dancer to sport to working with some of the heavyweights and entertainment?
It's an honor, really. The doors have been opening for me. It was really exciting to work with Omalay last year when he was in Zimbabwe. He's a very humble soul. And like the artists you mentioned, they're all very humble souls, and they're very open-minded to accepting dance and, you know, understanding how we're fusing dance with their music videos is overall, the picture is amazing. Yeah.
All right, and at some point you did highlight the different elements of dance that have been ingrained in our culture, especially as Zimbabweans. How do you want to see that maybe manifest in some of these like the modern genres that we're seeing, whether it's Zim dancehall, whether it's, you know, your contemporary urban grooves? Like, how do you think we can translate that so that we can sort of conserve, whether it's your mchongoyo? I know Baba Harare with, I can't remember, one of those videos, he had some of the traditional elements.
Exactly.
Like, you know, how important do you think that is to bring that forward, and especially in terms of pushing aside that stigmatization that you mentioned before?
True, well, perfect example. Baba does a great job at, you know, preserving the culture, like you said. And I do see in a lot of music videos these days, people are more open to taking our raw Zimbabwean dances and then like modernize them. Like, let's say it's like when you do a remix where you take a genre of R&B and call it R&B hip hop. Yeah. So you're fusing cultures. So it is still a work in progress, and we're evolving, but still keeping the originality of the dance itself. Yeah.
Right, and I know you've had some success at the Namas before.
Oh, yes.
Well, maybe just regale us with some of the recognition that you've received so far in your career.
Absolutely. I always shied away from submitting my work anywhere. So this was my first submission at the, NAMA this year, and I got 2 nominations for Best Dance Choreographer and Best Female Dancer, and I won for the Best Female Dancer. It was an honor. Blue Air was
so
like,
yes. It's certified.
It's a stamp.
You're the best female dancer in Zimbabwe.
Absolutely.
And like I was reading your profile, and I was looking at something, and it says you specialize in lyrical, contemporary, and free flow motion.
Yes.
Are you dead? Okay, unpack it. Let's.
Okay. Well. When I got the opportunity to go to dance school, so you study every style of dance. You do Latin, ballroom. You do like hip hop. You do contemporary, ballet. But my niche market, which is what I found to be like the best, what I expressed the best, I would say, is contemporary. When it's lyrical contemporary, it's basically I'm moved by the lyrics of the songs. So music, you move to exactly what the song is saying. That's
So it's not just about
expression.
the musicality and the instrumentation, but
Exactly.
you're also just flowing with the words.
Storytelling.
Look at me pretending like I know what I'm talking
You
about.
look like you're about to start dancing.
No, I was just lyrically following what you were saying. But
Exactly.
Deborah, thank you very much
Thank you.
for making time to join us this morning on the Morning Rush, for enlightening us in terms of where we are in terms of the dance industry. And I'm really excited about what you've done so far, from your experience with the performing arts in China to you winning the NAMA award. I think that's a big deal. I hope you can build on that.
Absolutely.
And we're really excited to see what you do in the future.
True.
All right, yeah,
Thank
so
you.
that's Deborah Nyasha Kabongo joining us on this Friday morning, enlightening us about the world of dance. Maybe I'll hit her up and get some free-flowing lyrical dance.
Ipapwe Papo Pa ZTN Prime, DSTV channel 294, the place to be.